and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
And we have to start by building a wall, a big, beautiful, powerful wall.
Show me the money!
You are fake news.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
Well, that's the revolution here on Lake Effect Radio. Streaming live at livestream. Why? I was about to say that old link. At lakeeffectradio.org/studio. Well, after having that streaming service for about 6 years and that, I still have that tendency every randomly to go to that. And it's no longer a thing as of the summer. But how you doing, Brian?
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Are you sure?
No, hey.
Yeah, just hanging that, hating the cold.
Just enjoying life.
I feel ya.
And yourself?
Not bad. Not bad at all. So, first time here.
First time here, yes.
How do you like the vibe so far?
It's cool. It's a beautiful place, man. Really cool.
Cool.
Like the decor.
I know. It's really
I like
original.
your Christmas tree. Your Christmas tree is very time-consuming and unique.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's very unique. It was pictures taken off of people's Facebook pages. Might as well call it out. It is. Because it's true. Cool. 100% true.
I believe you.
So, want to get a little into some questions? You want to jump to one of your tracks first?
Sure, let's play a song. Why
your
not?
choice.
Oh, gosh.
It's always, guest choice here.
Guest choice. First song. Well, I could do the ones that are on my Facebook or my SoundCloud. So, how about Oblivious? I believe it's...
Okay, SoundCloud.
Song 1, 2, 3, 4,
5. Oh.
Fifth song.
3, 6.
Every song.
Old lady dreams of a gentle disguise.
Very nice. So, gotta go into the somewhat basics of things. What first got you, eager to get into music?
I mean, I've just been interested in music since I was a child. Just the sound of it. I just enjoy the experience of music, and the cerebral aspect. It just takes you away. And I don't know. It's a great art form. It has so much diversity in it, and it can reach so many people and so many different experiences. But I don't know. I think when you're younger, there's always the fame, fortune, glory. Wine, women, and song. But I think underneath, most people are musicians or artists or any. You have to suffer, let's say, for a long time to get any kind of consolation from being an artist. I don't think always those fame, fortune, and glory are the things that will carry you through. There's just something about artists and musicians. You just have to do it. It's like an addiction kind of thing. You just have to do it. And so I don't know, some of us are just burdened with that desire to create, and so I think, I've had that always, and it's more of a blessing now than it was a burden, but,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's the score.
What, that's the score?
That's the score. That's my story.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, out of your current album, I'll go with this. So, the top 3 songs that would be the standouts that, whether your own personal liking, other people's liking.
When I was writing this album, I really only wrote 11 songs, and so they're really some kind of experience when you would start listening from the very first one through the very last one. It's kind of, I don't want to be sort of pretentious and dark side of the moon kind of, art piece, but it really, every song is there for a meaning, and every song is in their place, and every word, and I really crafted it in some way that I would hope that somebody would just sit and listen to it from beginning to end, and but each song in itself can be taken separately. I do like, when I went to record this at Midtown Recording in Westlake, the co-producer Bart Koster, I kind of presented him with the my songs, the ideas behind them. And he had a group of studio musicians and people that he worked with in art, other musicians. And he kind of assembled them. And he picked just the right people. And so you get into that kind of magical moments where everything just comes together. So he was the perfect person. He picked the perfect musicians. And he kind of took my ideas and visions, and together, when every song came back to me after, I would just play the acoustic to a track, and then he would have the musicians kind of bring their own to it. I didn't tell them, hey, play this, that, or the other thing, And some of the stuff came back a lot darker than I anticipated, so like, and Bart also is a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, learned guitar player. And so songs like Fashioning Gray came out a lot heavier, but a lot darker, especially on the solos that he would come up with. So I was surprised at several of them. That one really stands out. Finished Product, great. And then you go to Little by Little, which the keyboard player also would play multiple tracks, and he did like an accordion. So it really has all these different textures. So I really love them all. And Seldom I Rest, the very last song, is a very autobiographical to some degree. But it came out really great. So yeah, I'd like them all. It's kind of like hard to choose. I mean, some people like the heavier ones, the more rock oriented, and then there's a few that have a country tinge to them, but all the lyrics are very important. So I tend to ask people just listen to the lyrics, and that's so that
It's depending on the person.
Yeah, it's depending on the person. It has it gives a wide range of possibilities for the listener to kind of assume their own experience with the song, but not enough that it's so abstract that it's there's not many love songs, if any. I'm not so it's not gonna be listened to on a romantic evening out with wine and cheese or something. But so I like Fashioning Gray is one of my favorites. Regrets. And Seldom I Rest, because like I said, I loved what Bart and his musicians came back with. They took my idea and just kicked it up a notch. So those ones are really, when I heard them back, I was like, wow, wow. Which is a good
describe
feeling.
Your original idea just a little.
Yeah, my original idea for
what you thought it was going to sound like.
Well, it's
and said, "Oh, I want to go." Well, this is actually a little better than what I was thinking.
Yeah, you kind of present them with the melody, and what I would do is I would play the acoustic and played to a click track, and then sang to that, kind of so you get the melodic voice. And so I basically was telling him, you'll hear a lot of the music in there, so the artist, whatever instrument is gonna hear their own. It's not gonna be we're not going to go off into a black metal on this song and on this one a funk reggae, and on the there's a holistic to it. It's not a variety of different elements, so it's not going to have a little of this and a little of that. So I knew that it was going to be a rock, have an Americana kind of S sound to it. But the parts they took were a little darker in some of the subtext of their phrasing, and especially the guitar. I think like in Fashioning Gray, it just sounded more like it could have been a like a folky kind of simplistic kind of story almost. And the guitar that he came in with on top of it, and the keyboards and this organ, it gives it a real eerie sound. So I guess that would probably be the best one to listen to, since I've been talking about it enough.
If you want, could go there.
Sure, we can listen to that one.
Okay, that was
Fashioning Grace. I think it's the fourth song.
Deny indeed, shifting
mine now.
Yeah, that's kind of coincidental. Yeah, damn those neighbors are same house, but across next street over.
Just stole your mail.
Probably.
Because I think I sent a couple of them, but yeah. Yeah, now
Well, at least that one and that, yeah.
Now they have that tracking thing, so every time I've sent them out, I track, I'll be like, make sure that I see that it got there, especially when, you send it to Europe, and it's like, $10 to mail a CD, on regular mail.
Well, true, because the price is going up and that. I never really thought that into it.
Yeah,
mailing something now to Europe.
And now you don't have to send, I used to send CDs to radio stations and radio and stuff. Now everything could be digitally sent, but she wanted me to send one and she wanted it signed. So I was like, I'm like, sure, no problem.
Who knows? She might be watching because we have a good actual Western Europe
I've had
audience.
I've had a great European interest, especially in the UK. There's I won't mention another radio station, but there's one in Europe, and they have this online radio awards, and I had only had my CD. It's only been out since August, and I received, they played it, and I received a thing that says you've been nominated for this award, with this, and I was thinking, oh, this is great,
Right.
But then it was country act, and I was like, country act. I'm like, I'm very appreciative. I never thought of myself as country act. So I ended up getting third place. They had like first and second. So, I mean, as much, it was a great honor and I was very thankful. But,
True.
I was like, country act. So it's, it wasn't songwriter, it wasn't artist. It was just, which is cool. I mean, I love some of the one I've been in contact with the female that, she's from North Carolina. She was the winner. Her name is September Campbell. Great singer of music. I love her stuff. So I've gotten to, meet some people from that, but a lot of good European, the European people have
They have an eye from across the way.
Yeah.
Or ear from across the way.
It's just amazing how you can record stuff now and just disseminate it all over the world. Before that was impossible. 20 years ago even, that was unheard of.
You had to mail it or be there.
You had to mail it or be there, and they, it just was not going to happen. It's given so much space for people to create and disseminate their stuff without having all the gatekeepers, from record labels to this.
Or the
to
few
that.
$100 flights.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally, the wallet busters.
So that's amazing. It's still amazing. You get sent from, I got on my Twitter or something, and boom, somebody from Russia or somebody from Poland, or like I found all my SoundCloud. It gives you like what country, what city, and what state. And I'm getting like Japan is like one of my top, people listening. I'm like, that's amazing that you can do that, and technology allows people that access where. That 20 years ago was one, you didn't know where to send it to or who to send it to, nor would you ever know if somebody even listened to it. So it's great.
That's true. That's like our old streaming site, and I kept track of who, where things were, that. But you didn't get to know what country and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're just seeing here, them in the chat and seeing here going back and forth, hey, where are you from? And that, oh, yeah, Berlin. And that, okay, well, why are you looking up a community college in America?
I love SoundCloud for that, because I'll be just sitting there at SoundCloud and just clicking on, who's following this, and I'll end up some experimental avant-garde from Austria, and you're just like, wonder what this sounds like, and it's sometimes it's just noise, and that's the title, noise, but it's so cool, and that's just right out there, Before people would spend hours in record shops or something like that trying to dig for stuff and some import, and now it's just a click away.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it definitely gives you. Of course, people would say the gatekeepers were also necessary to keep away some of the less desirable influence, but I think that's just, I would rather, let all things be heard. Why not let everybody choose what they want to listen to? And
It's every once in a while. It's that one you could do without. Ever heard of Rebecca Black?
Who?
Rebecca Black.
Rebecca Black. No.
Sure, that song about Friday.
Oh my God, that is terrible. It's like a.
See, they're worthwhile every once in a while.
It was terrible, but it's delightfully terrible. It's like so you can point to something and go, "That's bad." Now we have a placemaker. Yeah, I just listened to that, and it's literally, isn't it like she gets up? I got up this morning.
Yeah.
I had breakfast. I went and got dressed. I got in my car. I went.
I never made it through even half of it.
I thought it was a joke. I really thought it was a joke when I heard that.
So she came out with the next song. The joke was on you.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Somebody out there loved it, I guess.
Yeah.
People get very famous for being infamous now, so,
That's true.
sometimes, they can be, it's so bad, people love it. That's why they won't, I think that's funny.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, what was your first instrument that you ever played?
I played a block. I wanted to take drum lessons, and they didn't give you before buying a drum set, that was not out of the question. You're not going to, so you get a block, and you just try to play drums on a block. So that was my first. Then I worked up to drums, and I played drums for a while, and then I was taking lessons, and I went once with the wrong book and one stick, and realized that was it. So from there, then I took up guitar, but I was young, a lot younger, and I bought it from J.C. Penney's. They used to sell guitars and their catalogs. And
Oh, I remember those.
do you remember those? And they were terrible.
Especially because those magazines were like that thick or
it's
that.
huge. And then I bought it, and when it came, in the mail, and you played it, and the strings were, and eventually I didn't really learn how to play it, but I would break the strings, and at the time I didn't know that you could buy strings to replace them. So I thought, well, if the strings are broke, it's no good, throw it out. So we had just seen Jimi Hendrix at the Monterey Pop Fest burn his, so we're like, oh, let's take it out, light it on fire, and burned it and smashed it. And that was that.
Until you realized that
Until
you could buy
years,
strings.
yeah, until several years later, then I wanted to take it, and then I rented an acoustic and started taking lessons, and they're like, oh, you can buy strings. I'm like, wow. So, yeah. And then I took guitar. Yeah, it was, it was J.C. Penney's, and I think it was fun just smashing it. So.
Yeah, the entertainment value after
Yeah, it
once
had
in a while.
entertainment. It was worth it.
It's worth it.
It was worth smashing it. Yeah. I've never done that since then.
Yeah, especially because they're a lot more expensive.
Yes, a lot more expensive. I wouldn't want to take my Mart and smash that. I would get no satisfaction.
Says it's really no good satisfaction out of it I can think of.
No.
Except unless you want to hurt your wallet.
Yeah,
That's still not yet even any good satisfaction out of it.
I don't think anybody wants to see an acoustic guitar get smashed.
No.
Yeah, I don't think musicians now have the money for that.
Fair enough. So what's your plans for 2019?
Music-wise or just in general?
Music-wise.
I'm still promoting, doing more PR on this stuff as much as I can. I've recently, I was going to a lot of open mic shows in the area, and there's a lot of great ones. And I've seen a few where these guys will come in and they'll rap, and they bring their music on their phone, and they just plug it, actually I found it's a Bluetooth. And so they have their background music with them. And so I contacted the studio where I recorded the CD at, and I asked Bart Coster if he could send me like the tracks without the vocals, and which he did. They call them TV mixes, and so I got the TV mixes, and I have a Dropbox on my phone, and I got the adapter that goes from the new iPhones with that flat one to 3.5, and then that has an adapter for a 1/4 inch. So I just tried it out at the Rib Cage on West 25th, has an open mic on Mondays. And so you just plug the phone right into the guitar cord, instead of your guitar, and instead right there I had my band with me. They were really tiny and fit in the phone. And boom, I could just play like the song there, and I got to sing the vocals, and you get the fuller experience. And so I'm wanting, I think this now for the next while, I'll start to do that more. And I don't know if you can book shows doing that and maybe opening and stuff, but I don't see why not. Instead of a band, if you have the music behind you and a good speaker, and so I think of that. True. I did go to. I was in the beginning of October. I was in New York for about 10 days. I was staying in Brooklyn. So I played at a lot of cool places there. I took my, I just did my acoustic stuff, which I'd like to go back now with this, music on my phone. I'd like to go to Austin. I'm planning to go there and check that out. The music scene there is really cool. So really just going to be doing that and promoting it and see where it goes from there, You never know.
Fair enough.
That's my plan.
Fair enough. So, in 5 years from now...
Oh, my God.
I know. I got to be that person.
5 years.
Where do you want to see the whole music career at?
I don't know. I mean, I love recording music and creating it. So, hopefully, another album, it would be nice to say, be signed to a more independent label, some company that's willing to promote your music to more larger channels, to, have a touring band behind you. I'd love to have a working band to play out live. It's just hard to find musicians that are willing to play behind, for financial reasons. But I'd like to do that. I would love to, tour with the local, with band, play out and just, see what happens, so.
Fair.
I mean, I think every musician would like to be able to live comfortably doing their art form. I don't think anybody would want to keep
typical 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if it's, I think sometimes it's gotten to the point where it's all the money and all the fame and all that, and you want to keep it within context, but it'd be nice to just, instead of working in a 9-to-5 job, that you were able to live comfortably and play your music and, and who knows?
Travel around, do some shows and things.
I mean, I think that's the every artist sees himself continually performing, painting, whatever it is that you do. As long as you can do it for as long as you can, I think, and there's more open avenues. I mean, the way technology is going and the more cities are becoming, I don't want to use the word gentrified, but even with Cleveland, it's becoming so many new residents, and that population brings the need for entertainment, and therefore you have more clubs and you have more availability for people to
play wherever,
and get out there. They don't have to all fight over the 2 clubs in my city that bands can play. Now you have 50 places that you can play. You have more people to start a certain kind of an artist community, whether it be painting or musical, auditory, and I think there's a lot of that. I noticed going to a lot of open mics in the area, you do get a lot of, there's already a community developing where people know each other and work with each other, and that's great. So I think hopefully that in the next 5 years will open up.
Fair enough. You want to jump to another track?
Sure. Let's try Finished Product. I believe it's 8.
Finished product so distorted, tossing anger, all contorted, falling distance there to cradle, false ambition.
working. Wow, love it. Yeah, I have a small crowd too.
Say it again.
I have a small crowd too.
Small crowd?
Yeah, they make applause.
They make applause.
Yeah. You'll understand a lot more. You probably sort of heard it in the headphones.
Yeah.
And that. Especially when you go back and look through it and that, yeah, it'll make a lot. Except you have someone, I don't know, maybe this might be someone random. Maybe not. Can you play Welcome to the Club?
Say what?
Welcome to the Club.
Welcome to the Club? Never heard of it.
No? Mm-mm. Or that's someone just being really random.
Welcome to the Club.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, by, was it Manly? Yeah. So it might be someone just sort of being random. It happens. So, on that note, I'm going to go and sort of switch to this of, if you could work with any artist that inspires you, or perform with, who would it be?
Locally? Or just in the history of music?
You could do locally, you could do, the big show. They don't have to be alive, they could be dead.
Oh, I would love to perform like with John Coltrane, the saxophone player. I mean, jazz greats. Leonard Cohen. There's so many I like. I don't, I like artists to listen to. There's not a lot of times where I could feel myself performing with somebody, like singing with them or singing background for them, but there's a lot of groups that I like, even locally. There's, I think there's a lot of good talent locally. But I would love to have learned to play saxophone and like be able to get on stage with John Coltrane and play, which would be phenomenal. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then I'll sort of maybe put this little twitch or a little change into it. So you're the main act. You could have anyone open for you. Who would it be?
In the history of music, or
it could be locally the same almost parameters.
I'd want to have a festival, and I'd have like Jimi Hendrix, and the Who. They'd probably open, and they'd give me a half-hour slot, and then we work up to, No, I don't know. That would be hard. I mean, there's a lot of good local stuff around that I don't know them personally. I've seen this band, Womantra kind of thing, and I love it. They actually recorded at the same studio I did, and I love their stuff. And the girl that sings she's just got a certain style to her that I just admire. I think it's great. There's a group now. These guys. His name is Mike Cialis. I really like his stuff. His band is called Apostle Jones, and the guitar player is phenomenal. I've seen their videos and stuff, and I've seen Mike perform at open mics. Phenomenal. So I mean, those guys are definitely good. There's a lot of local acts that I would just really enjoy playing. A friend of mine is playing in a funk jazzy kind of band called the Daddy Longlegs Homegrown Revival, and I saw them play on Friday down at the Stella's Music Place. They're a great act, jams. He plays saxophone. I knew him from back in college at Kent State. We were friends. I played in a band. I played bass in a band called what was it? Poets of Another Breed. He played saxophone, and so I don't know. There's so many good bands locally and stuff like that. I would want a more local band. It's always best to play with people I think you can enjoy it more than fantasy bands.
Let's see. How can you play Only You by Little Mix? Or can you play Don't Stop by Queen?
By who? Queen.
Yeah, Don't Stop
Yeah.
Me by Queen.
Yeah, I don't really have the Freddie Mercury voice, but you know, I can do the falsettos alone sometimes in the depths of my despair in my basement. I'll break out to Bohemian Rhapsody, but
I gotcha. Yeah, this is what happens every once in a while. It's either that friend, someone, and that out there in the chat that goes and, you know, brings out those hidden things.
hidden, yeah.
You would be surprised hearing their other people, their friends, you know, personate whoever, like under some random thing, and, you know, ask them, or, you know, well, I heard about da da da.
It's amazing, yeah.
They like putting people on the hot seat. Yeah.
Yeah. Not.
It's a true thing. It's happened a lot over the years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Impersonating others to, yeah, that's silliness.
I know.
Silliness.
It's true. So, I'll go of. So, how does your writing style for each song happen? You sort of come up with the melody, the vocals, vice versa?
Sometimes just the guitar, I'll hear something and it just kind of strungs together. So I'll usually get a melody from a guitar. I'll be playing acoustic, and then once I have a good structure that I record, then I start working on the lyrics. So I'll hear the melody, and I work on like each vocal, each line of lyrics is very patterned. So there are a certain amount of syllables to each word, you know, will match each line. So it's really constructed, and I'll write them and rewrite them you know, so it takes a while to do each song. None of them were done very quickly, but I couldn't replace any word. Every word is just where they're supposed to be, and every sound and syllable, and so, like I said, it goes like that. I mean, I play bass too, so I could have written a lot of the music to the different parts, but what I found with this experience of giving them over to studio musicians, and especially where, in this case, the co-producer, you know, orchestrated them and kind of took it away from, you know, one person's own view. I mean, there are great Trent Reznors, you know, there's the, you know, the person that could come in, they have their own idea, they play every instrument, Prince or somebody that, you know, can pull that off. But I really think that when you get different people and different musicians together and let them do their own thing and bring it to the experience, it has to take it to a different level than you would have considered. Of course, you have to trust the people you play with and the other musicians to, you know, take your, you know, presentation of whatever, you know, melody or line, lyrical, so that they will, you know, respect it and bring forth their own to it. So, yeah, I mean, I really like that way. I really like bands. I mean, there's always something magical about being in a band and creating music. The personality issues, every band knows this, you know, how many bands you've been in, how many people have quit, how many, you know, we're doing well, somebody's got
the random little arguments.
Random arguments, too much drugs, too much booze, too much of this or whatever, egos, and then, you know, that's the downside. But I think the idea of more people creating together is magical, so yeah. So that's yeah.
I gotcha. The one thing is I want to ask, how did you come up with the art?
That's, I do all the art. So I'm also a painter. I've been doing oil paintings and had shows and all over the country. And I started doing a lot of photo manipulation, which, you know, you could take photos, and with now, you know, all the different Photoshops and elements, and you can, you know, for me, it's, again, you know, you have to have a certain idea of what you're going for. But I think a lot of it has to do with present it to a certain degree, but there's a certain hidden element. So my art with, you know, I hate the, you know, that terminology, like it's a little dark, it's a little eerie, and it's colorful in a very subdued way.
It sort of has that middle ground.
Yeah, there's a middle ground. It's not coming out to shock you, but it's not presenting itself fully. It's kind of a little reserved.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, let's see. They have nothing else out there. So, could jump to another track.
How about
Got some more different things, too, after that.
about Little by Little.
Okay.
Get a little of the accordion.
Nice.
Over the middle, facing down, covered in riddles, sleep underground, wanting to flourish, waiting to die, life in a bottle, never runs dry, living on the outside, they say it's a sin. Kindly tell me, stranger, when did the show begin? Little by little, nothing to say. Hide in the darkness, wither away. Little by little, nothing to say. All that you wish for went away. Over the middle, abandoned wings, hit like a dry still, a useless thing. Bleeding a wide room, bury the dead. Life at the bottom never intends. Living on the inside, they say it's a sin. Kindly tell me, stranger, when did your life begin? Little by little, nothing to say. Hide in the darkness, wither away. Little by little, nothing to say. All that you wish for went away. Gather the masses, usher the end. 1,000 light years lay ahead. Living without sin is the way we all begin. Kindly tell me, stranger, what did you hope to win? Little by little, nothing to say. Hide in the darkness, wither away. Little by little, nothing to say. All that you wish for went away.
That was very nice. That was very tastefully done.
Very tastefully done. It's just a very presented, subdued, but really gets the message across. You know,
Especially because, especially it's not too strong, it's not too soft.
no.
With the accordion and that in the background. It's like that perfect,
And the things,
line.
too, is the way, going back to each song, if you listen to from the beginning to the very end, it kind of has this emotional, I don't want to say like an ebb and flow, but that song comes right at the very end, so it comes off of a certain emotional note, and it's going to lead into the very last song, and so it kind of sets you up for the next song, which, and it just came out perfectly. Again, the guy is a phenomenal keyboard player. His name is, I can never pronounce his last name, Rick Matosek, but it's phenomenal.
Sort of looks right.
Matosek. I think.
Sorry for butchering it.
Yeah, sorry for that.
We can go on Google Translate and go and make sure we're pronouncing it live on air.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Like my last name, they'll say Matheny. I get Matheny all the time. I say, yeah.
And that's like me. Yes. Like Mrazek and that.
Mrazek.
That gets butchered. Not including even in the mail. So many horrible spellings of it. So I know your pain.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like, when somebody pronounces it correctly, I'm like, Matheny, yes, it is. Wow. Or else now they'll be like, are you related to Pat Matheny, the guitar player? And I'm more surprised that people even know who that is. I'm like, wow, you know who that is? Yeah. So I used to just say no, but now I just say, well, sure, yeah. Yeah, my second cousin removed something.
That's nice. That's a nice cover-up. I do appreciate that.
I don't think anybody's going to hold me to it. Like, really?
No.
Can we call him? No, not going to happen.
I'm surprised no one, dug through the family tree now, but occasionally, if you're really going that far to find out, and you're not even in the family,
no.
All power to you at that point.
I was exercised out.
Yeah, I got you in that. Oh, so we figured out who the other guy is. He's somewhere from the UK. And that's his song request. Well, we can't do that song request, though. So, you'll have to sort of wait on that. But then, yeah, you have my one advisor, the building across the street, Tim, that actually was contacting you and that. Mm. Yeah, he was the one that went and said, is Tom Brady softer than Cristiano Ronaldo?
Has he come up with a substantial answer yet, or?
He hates Tom Brady.
He hates Tom Brady. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. Like me.
Yeah, he's a terrible quarterback. He's married to a terrible person. He's on a terrible team. No, yeah. None of those are true.
No.
I mean, I'm glad he's still able to play at his age. He's going to go down in history, though. I mean, as one of the greats, whether you like him or not. I mean,
yeah, he's going to be down there in Canton.
Canton, easily, Brett Favre, I give Brett Favre a lot of credit. He's, it'd be nice to see Cleveland get one of those. I like, Mayfield's, hopefully this can be the one.
Well, not Thomas will probably be there before him.
Yeah.
Just another 4 years.
Another 4 years.
That's possible to have that happen. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens in that. So Tim's asking, who is your musical inspiration?
Oh, man. I really like Neil Diamond. I know I've seen Neil Diamond many times live in concert. I love Neil Diamond.
Last time when he was down here in the queue?
Yeah. He's got such a voice and such a style about him. So I love Neil Diamond. He's a big influence. I like Ray LaMontagne. He's another guy recently. He's not been out too long. He's a very good. Tom Waits. Love Tom Waits. Leonard Cohen is another one. I think Leonard Cohen is, just so. His writing, the skill of writing lyrics and music is phenomenal. I like a lot of jazz influences, stuff from like Coltrane, Miles Davis are big influences, but I don't know. A lot of for music and stuff like that. There's those greats and the lyrical stuff. I really was into like a lot of the great American poets and literature, great literature, you know, that for lyrical usage, which the lyrics now are, you know, some people just, they're the last things written, you know, and they just throw them in there, and usually they're, you know, they're just simple rhyming patterns, but there's some great writers out there that turn to music, you know, Leonard Cohen being one of them, and I've always been really drawn to that style of, I've always loved the Beatles, The Cure is a big, the Depeche Mode. I mean, I have so many influences. So many. But Neil Diamond, phenomenal. Like, you know, Johnny Mathis, Frank Sinatra, all those greats, you know. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, Neil Diamond.
Love Neil Diamond.
I mean, I was thinking Frank, but I wasn't sure.
Frank is great. I mean, I love Neil Diamond. When I've gone to, you know, you go to a Neil Diamond, which he's not touring anymore, but, you know, you go to a regular concert. Like, I went and saw Willie Nelson, and it was Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, and Bob Dylan played at Captain's Field this several years ago. But as soon as Willie Nelson goes up, I mean, the whole place is filled with pot. You know, people are smoking pot. It's crazy. So you go to one more, maybe, you know, certain concerts, it's just you're surrounded by pot smell. When you go to a Neil Diamond concert, you're surrounded by really expensive perfume. You know, it's just wafting around you. There's a big difference, but everybody's singing along, and he just has such a sway. And my mother, when I was little, would always play like Johnny Mathis and Neil Diamond, Aretha Franklin, and especially Diana Ross and stuff like that. So I grew up listening to that, and it's still great stuff. I still love it. I can just, you know.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned the Captain's Team, because it's many of those, like, or the actual shows that they have, because I live down the street from there, that it's just walking around that area, just, you know, listening, taking it in.
That's a great place to see music live in the summer,
it's
man.
It's such a shame that they haven't done that in years.
And it was really, I mean, I went, and like I said, with that one, with Dylan, he was the headlining, and then the two opening acts, it was Willie and then John Mellencamp. I think that he's using that name. And they were phenomenal. I mean, it was just phenomenal for like $60 for all three of them. You know, now...
And non-playing, you're pretty darn close there.
Yeah.
A lot better than Blossom.
Oh, you're right there. I mean, you can go right up there. I mean, even, you know, people go to the bat, you know, if they're drinking a lot, if you're in the first act and you're trying to get up close, you're drinking a lot with that sun hitting you, they're going to be, as soon as the one band's done, they're out of there, and you could just move right up. I was right in front of Dylan when he was playing. It was a phenomenal show. But, yeah, I mean, I like those. Blossom's getting really, you know, it's kind of hard to see from way back there.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the last of the open venues outside, you know.
True. The non-playing, a little bit of a pain to get in and out.
Yeah, it's a drive to get out there and get in. I mean, it's nice when you live in Cleveland to see, you know, go to the Q or go to the House of Blues or now the Agora. You know, you're right there. You know, it's not. It's not like you have to drive too far. You know, but
yeah,
you know, it's great to go see the symphony though at Blossom in the summer and just blankets. Yeah, it's the only time you can bring lots of wine and stuff and drink it in there, you know, or, you know, you did that in the, yeah, you can bring blankets and wine and they sell it there. And so, you know, you couldn't do that to like a Metallica show or something.
Oh God, no.
No. Yeah,
I forgot about the symphony.
Yeah, it's a whole different crowd. It's a very, you know, but
it's the most one mellow time that Blossom's actually there, you know. You can't say many. Like the last time I went to a show at Blossom was Kid Rock, Leonard Skinner.
Wow.
Not bad show.
Is that there's one guy left in Leonard Skinner now, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it, Fuel that played in front of them? No, that was Aerosmith. I seen them there. It was a few good shows I went to down there. True. So what would be if you went on tour, what would be your dream tour?
I mean, I love, America, and I love America and the diversity that America offers. And it was different, before, let's say, the 80s and the stuff in there, where different areas in the country had different tastes. And it'd be great to tour around the country, but I think it would be great to go to, like, Europe and do, like, I think it would definitely be playing in France and Spain and, in that areas. And the UK, I mean, I love, Scotland and Wales and Ireland. And just do the, really, really, that would be great. Japan, I've never been to that part of the world, so I always think that would be, incredible. So yeah,
a good experience.
It'd definitely be a good experience. I mean, there's so many places that would be, amazing. These people that get to tour, those are just fortunate. They get to have audience and play around the world. I mean, you can't ask for nothing more than that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it'd be nice just to play in Cleveland still. Cleveland Pride, man. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of funny because I was going to ask, what would be the one place you would want to play? Or that you would want to play in the United States?
Oh man, Cleveland Stadium. I mean, who wouldn't like to be from Cleveland and fill the Cleveland Stadium and play? I would.
True.
I think I think Cleveland's got a lot to offer, and we can bring more people here to the scene. It'd be nice to have something local. I mean, I've played in New York. I've been California, all these different places. Austin's are really great, and Nashville and stuff like that. But they're all well known. It's just, just to sell out Cleveland Stadium would be phenomenal. Hometown.
Nice. So if it's the one place anywhere in the world they would want to play at, what would it be?
Oh, jeez.
I know I'm that person.
No, that's, I can't, most of it would be fantasy, kind of where I've never been to, somewhere in France, or some Paris kind of thing, because I've always loved the French poets, and that would always be a fantasy kind of thing. But, Canada would be still cool. Yeah, I really have never thought about it, to tell you the truth. Off the top of my head,
I know I come up with some really deep stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, it's hard to, basically anywhere that people would want to come see you play is the best place to play, If it's Akron, Ohio, it's the best place to play if they want you to come there and they're willing to come out and pay to see you play. Wherever that is the best place.
Sure.
So.
I gotcha. But yeah, I gotcha. The other thing, here and there, I really go in some depth, don't I? But it happens.
Hey, it happens. Those things are out there. I mean, I was in New York recently, and you walk by Madison Square Garden, and I still have those, seeing like Led Zeppelin's "The Song Remains the Same" played, and think, wow, it'd be great to play Madison Square Garden, just to say, that would be, I think,
feel that place, all the history behind it.
Yeah, the history behind it. I mean, it is literally still there after all these years, where Cleveland used to have Richfield Coliseum. That's gone, so the Q is now there. It's a great place. But as far as history goes, to be like, filling Madison Square Garden would be phenomenal. I mean, I think, at least for me, that would be a historic place. I know a lot of the Grand Ole Opry for country would be like that Mecca kind of thing, but I think that Madison Square Garden, yeah.
I gotcha. Well, you want to jump to at least one more track?
Sure. How about we just do the last one, "Seldom I Rest"?
Except if I didn't flick it. I forgot it was on the second to last. So it was already there. So I switched it to number 1 again.
Got a dog and some dope. My neck swings from a rope. Ladies don't trust me. I awake without hope. Smoke and I drink. People look at me strange. The judge gave me 9. Need a think for a change. Every day I lose. Seldom I rest. My friends are all dealers. The world is a mess. Told me to surrender. Live in sobriety. Being a quitter, well, it just ain't for me. Swear when I speak, bathe once a week, sleep under the bar, crawl down the street, say I have a problem with authority, 'cause the law won't let me do what I please. Every day I lose, seldom I rest. My friends are all dealers, the world is a mess. Told me to surrender, live in sobriety. Being a quitter, well, it just ain't for me. I ain't going down. I ain't going down. I ain't going down. I ain't looking for reason. Forget all the past. I blew all the money and the coke never lasts. Burned all the bridges, passed out in the yard. The good Lord said, son, you took it too far. Every day I lose, seldom I rest. My friends are all dealers, the world is a mess. Told me to surrender, live in sobriety. Being a quitter, well, it just ain't for me. Every day I lose, seldom I rest. My friends are all dealers, the world is a mess. Told me to surrender, live in sobriety. Being a quitter, well, it just ain't for me. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
But very nice.
Cool.
But I had to admit, Brian, good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It has as well.
Definitely going to get your stuff in.
I appreciate it.
Very, because it really stands out. It really does. Especially, I can see definitely, because I see, listen to 2 on SoundCloud. Not trying to, really get that much into it. Because I like to try to be the authentic of, don't listen to everything someone, before they come in, and that, that's sort of that thing of, there's things I haven't heard that, like, others haven't. It's definitely some
Cool.
good stuff. Not only knowing the back history of some things and that of it. Good work. It's going to be fun getting this in.
I look forward to it, man. More the merrier.
So, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Been a pleasure as
man,
well.
and we'll catch you. Especially since we got your email and that, we'll make this happen again and that.
Great. Look forward to it.